Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another Last Epoch dev stream. As I remember to turn the light on my camera on and transition seamlessly. Hello, how's it going, everybody? Oh, I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling really good today. Nice little announcement that went out. Finish an idle slot quest right off the gate. I should probably fill in those idle slots. Alright. Do we have anything that's kind of useful here? What are we lacking? Poison, void, lightning, fire? Yeah, poison, that's good where we are. Alright, beauty. Welcome to a Last Epoch dev stream. My name is Mike. I'm one of the senior developers for Last Epoch. And I'm working on some cool stuff right now. Thought I'd show off the game a little bit. If you'd like to ask me some questions about Last Epoch, please feel free to do so. Please put @Last Epoch Game in the question chat so I see it and know you want me to answer it. Yeah, I'm playing my Raptor boy. My totally optimal, super serious Raptor boy. Yeah, we'll have some fun with this. Oh, where is it? There it is. Shout out, Aaron. I'm actually following your build now, which I am like looking at, and I am very far away from what you put. 1 point in there. Looks like a good 1-pointer. Oh, I was way over there. All right, get into it. Tune some volume stuff a little bit. Summon a raptor so we don't die. Yeah, let's get some questions going. Oh yeah, also I should mention we always stream for charity. Boom! Child's Play is our charity this week, month, time, whatever period it ends up being. Is there a way to fuse filters, like to combine two loot filters together? No, we don't have any way to do that. You could like open the text files and do it, but no, we don't have a method for that in game right now. I realized it was wrong. My lights turned up all the way. We got there. Feeling good. Alright, so is it meant to be a spooky season event? No, I don't think it's a spooky season event because it ends distinctly before the spooky season really happens. But kind of, I feel like if it was a spooky season event, it would be ending a couple weeks after that. With the announcement of this new event and refresh, are you guys still on track for the new cycle in 3-4 months? I have no information on the start time of 1.2. All I can talk about is what's happening with this event right now. Which I'm assuming I'm going to have to repeat that line like 40 more times this stream, and I'm totally fine with that. I know what I was signing up for. I do like this this two-hander, but I am excited to get into the proper weapons for this build. And I have one of them. I feel like I should be able to find the other, though. I have the important one. That lets me, this build is all about getting a bajillion raptors. Right now we're playing the single raptor version, so we're taking things that, like, limit your raptors to one, but make them better. And we will be taking as many raptors as possible soon. Well, I say soon, but we're still only halfway there. Don't forget to put at Last Epoch game in the question. But yeah, do we have more details on loot lizards? We don't have much. They are it's not a super deep system, but it is a lot of fun. There's a few things that I'm not going to share, but it is a fairly straightforward system as far as let me just double check what I'm allowed to say. Dancing around this. I'll find out how detailed I can be. Alright, do you have any plans to change the filter so we can have custom colors for different items? Custom colors, yeah, we have that. And also not hear items drop that are not seen with current filter. Oh, you mean like the beams probably? We don't have anything changing for the beams. Like color-wise, you can put custom colors on already for sure. As far as the sounds, we don't have any sound manipulation stuff happening yet either. That is something that gets requested fairly often though. I think hiding the sound is a pretty low, like for things that you don't want to hear the sound on, that's definitely a different ask than being able to make custom sounds. And probably more in line with what's possible. Being a time travel game, can we expect some time portals with mini bosses or events that happen? Like, yes. I don't really think that has anything specific to do with like time travel as a theme to have a mechanic like that. But yeah, that type of mechanic is definitely on the table. Okay, so I have been told I can say what loot goblins are. Loot goblins will appear randomly throughout the game as you're playing. You'll come across them, you'll stumble upon them just sitting there, and once they are engaged in combat, they will run away from you and drop gold on the ground as they run. And once you do eventually kill them, they will drop a bunch of loot. And there's different types of them, and they'll drop different types of loot. Yeah, you also don't actually ever kill them. They can't actually be killed because we thought they were too cute and adorable to actually kill. So they do escape every time, but they leave behind. They lighten their load in order to be able to escape. So you still get their stuff. They are. There's like there's a couple alternate animation things that are like that are pretty funny when you see them. They're good though. All right, more. And there's a few other little nuances to them that I'll leave for if we're doing a post on them, but that's essentially what it is. All right, any spoilers you can show for the event? I mean, there's one right there. All right, hi Mike, do you guys ever consider allowing movement while attacking? Even at 50% less move speed, it feels like this is the last puzzle to make melee feel great. Given the control scheme that we have, movement while attacking is like, unless the ability specifically, like, so how do I say this? We have lots of abilities that do move you while you attack. And then we have other abilities that don't move you while you attack. Having abilities dynamically move you on attack based on how you're like clicking at the same time creates a very awkward control scheme at best. So we're probably not interested in doing something like that generically for every melee ability. And we'll probably continue to incorporate it as a specific property of the ability itself. but yeah, like what's the usual go-to line? If you have a suggestion, drop it in the suggestions forums, and we will consider it. Sure, this has been asked before, but any chance that we will be able to defer mastery selection in the future so that we are not forced to select the mastery in order to complete the campaign? So we don't really. I don't think we have any specific plans to do that at the moment. Standard, if you have a suggestion, drop in the suggestions channel. But excuse me, if you really want to do this and you're playing online, you can just have someone else go to the other side of that decision and portal you there, and you never have to select it. So you can't, or jump ahead as far as you want. So you can kind of do this already in online. As far as offline goes, I mean, you can. It's offline. There's a lot less rules. Let's see how he's got this built. See if I'm doing anything even remotely similar. Not really. We're gonna go over here, really? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right, next one. Obviously, you can't go into specifics. Or maybe, we'll see. I hope I can. You're probably right, though. But is there anything that you can share about the general direction you're going with the volatile reversal changes that you mentioned last stream? Note to chat, don't tell him. Let's see if my trick works. I don't remember what I said last stream. I think I said that there was a key ability that needed some significant changes that was going to have some pretty big impact on other abilities in Sentinel. Like I think that's what I said. On a completely unrelated note, I do think that Volatile Reversal is a little bit too ubiquitous at the moment, because it has such a huge such a huge impact on your power level, on your overall power level, and then it also has a gameplay pattern that a lot of people don't like. So it kind of feels like one of those mandatory and, depending on how much you like it or not, possibly really unfun mechanics, or possibly really fun mechanics. Personally, I love it. But then I find myself like not wanting to use it because it is just so ubiquitous. I'm like, I want to try something different. So yeah, there's some not awesome things that end up happening with Volatile Reversal in the state that's in right now. So I think there's a lot of room for it to grow as an ability. Also just becoming a more, like, ignoring its place in Sentinel at all. I think there's probably a lot of room for Volatile Reversal to grow as an ability in just like the base functionality, so it is more usable, and also just more room for things to change in the tree. You may notice that the tree is pretty empty, like it's a pretty low node count tree. Because it's really old, and we've kind of had it on the cusp of a rework for so long. Like, I remember we've been like considering reworking it, and we've been in debates regarding Volatile Reversal when two other games have released abilities that are very, very similar, and we're like, let's see how this one goes. And then we're like, because one of the times we actually had changes planned that were extremely similar to one of the other games that's coming out with a very similar ability, and like we realized that it wasn't working the way we had hoped it was going to work, but it was working well in their game, and we're like, we can't change the other things to make it work in our game the same way we want it to work like this. And we're like, so we had to scrap that idea. It's been a whole journey with Volatile Reversal. Yeah, I hope we're able to like really bring it together, because it's such a thematically awesome ability for Void Knight, and having it be such a ubiquitous having it be such a ubiquitous part of the Sentinel ability system itself is I think it does a disservice to the Void Knight theming, with it being so important to take on Forge Guards and Paladins. That's the other one. But for the record, I would have given that answer about Volatile Reversal whether you'd asked about Volatile Reversal specifically or not, regardless of the context. Alright. Will the Blade Dancer get any new skills? I see that it has 3+1 mastery skill compared to Falconer 4+1 exclusive skill. Yeah. We don't have a fixed minimum number of abilities per class, or mastery even. But we do have like general plans to work more on the abilities that are less work more on abilities for masters that have fewer abilities. Excuse me. So I think in general you'll start to see that happen, that shift happen, but I don't want to say specifically like I'm not saying that we are specifically working on a Blade Dancer ability right now. Like there's other classes that fit into that same category. Like Shaman and Marksman and Base Rogue and does Spellblade have enough? Yeah, Spellblade has enough. Paladin, there we go, got it. Thank you very much. Dreadful, welcome with the raiding party. Take a load off, hang out, chit chat. One of my buddies is just starting to get into Epoch Dread, and he linked me one of your builds last night that he's gonna try. Oh my god, did I say loot goblins? I'm so sorry. Loot lizards. What did I say? Lizards. They're definitely lizards. Oof. There's a slip. Alright. Mike, I noticed a lot of spam for real money trading in game chat last week or so. Is there any plans to have a report option to the player chat? Right now, all I see is block player, but no report. I don't think we're actually putting a specific report system in like that. They are getting flagged. Stuff is happening. Hey, wow. Double crit. Not super high tier or anything, but you know, still nice. Banish it and lose it. Alright, give me that sword. Alright, any new uniques for the event, or are those just planned for next cycle? I don't think there's any new uniques coming for the event. It's not really a full-blown patch. It's not really designed as a like what you'd expect with a full-blown like major patch like we would do normally with a cycle reset. We're mainly targeting like quality of life stuff and a ladder reset and the event like boosts. Are the changes coming to dungeons permanent or just for the event? Permanent. Yeah, and there's gonna be more too. So the things that we do, the first little things we're changing with dungeons, it's kind of part of it is like a, hey, we know there's stuff wrong with dungeons. We are working to fix them. There's some more in-depth things that I think are going to be coming afterwards as well. Might be a little bit more long-term, but we do intend for even more updates after these. Like it won't finish here. There's going to be I'm not 100% sure exactly what part of it is making it into this little reset, but yeah, the goal is for long-term dungeon changes for the better. The full procedural generation's not in yet, so I mean this is going to be more eventually. Awesome. I think this will probably also be our like maybe not, never mind. Alright, more questions. Do you feel hustly looking trim, bro? I have, thank you. Yeah. I guess down about 24 kilograms in the last 5 months. Yeah. Thanks. Alright. Mike, TGIF, here to ask my weekly question. Any updates on a merch store? Really wanted to get my hands on an Ellie Ishii hoodie. Here, I'll ask. I'll send. I normally don't send a DM to the person about it every week, but I do. I'll do one right now for you. I realized I had to turn all the filters like way off to make my voice sound better, and then my typing is probably really loud. Sorry. Oh, it is warm in here today. We're getting like an end of summer heat wave. Okay, more questions. PoE just did a massive buff to melee skills and it felt great. Any plans to buff melee abilities and melee weapons? I don't really have any details on specific balance changes that are coming up, but I definitely know that there's a very significant conversation on the topic to be had. What am I doing? Did it not trigger? Do I not just portal out of here? I feel like I did something wrong. Oh well. Aaron, when you're making the video later, can you go back and replace when I said goblin with lizard, please? I'll say it a few more times here for checks. Just lizard. Lizard. Lizard? There we go. I'm just kidding. I don't know where I'm going either. Let's actually do this properly. Okay, any infos to custom UI cursor, and we can feel any real pets that activate can we get finally real pets that activate can fight with you, not minions or deco pets? I'm sorry, I don't really understand. I think no, but I'm not really sure. Sorry. Any info on the custom UI cursor? We did have some breakthroughs recently on being able to finally do that. It is tied to the version upgrade of the engine, so we are working on that. mean, that's not terrible for us. I consider that. It's interesting. A little bit faster might be nice. Alright. You sound sicky, okay? No, it is pollen season and I have allergies. Will Primordial uniques come with a new endgame mechanic, or are they sort of a side effect like Nemesis? I don't have any info on Primordial uniques at the moment. Yeah. Sorry, I got nothing on that. I can't even say that. I'm sorry. That's kind of a locked topic right now. Is the mid-cycle event like cycles where you have to start a new character? If you want to play on the ladder, yes. So like the cycle is resetting, the ladder is resetting. So if you want to play on the ladder, you will have to make a new character, or on the like main cycle ladder. So it's gonna be a fresh ladder to start with. Stuff's gonna reset. But there's nothing new. There's no differences. So, like everything you're doing now is going to stay exactly the same as the way it is, because you'll just be able to keep playing everything exactly as the way it is with all of your same stuff. And like the only thing that's, I guess, a little different is that the current two auction houses, the current two bazaar markets are merging together and a new one is forming. That's kind of the only real difference with what's currently on live. And for everyone who's playing Merchant's Guild, that's probably a really positive thing. Whether you want a fresh one or you want to stick with the old one, it's probably gonna have a very positive effect on both instances. All right. Seeing that the game will be Steam Deck verified, did that verification ensuring a minimum performance level, for example, are there going to be noticeable performance improvements in the patch? Yeah, specifically targeted around Steam Deck.
Right. Out there should, if it weren't for you, I'd still
like there's some things that are going to affect PC as well, but primarily it's like Steam Deck changes as far as performance goes. That's the main targets. It's also a lot of like UI adjustments. There's a lot of stuff with UI that's like mostly just things where you're like, oh, that's kind of janky. You can't really do that properly on a Steam Deck. Great. On it. Thanks, Aaron. All right, when mid-season event starts, it's in the announcement. It's the 17th. Question mark? 19th, September 19th. And depending on like where you live in the world, it'll be different. But the forum post has the specific like timestamp on it that is localized. So there's the link. Beautiful. All right, let's keep going. Get this bad boy leveled. All right, are the Steam Deck performance improvements targeting the Linux native client or the Windows binary run through Proton? It's gonna be. I think the Steam Deck specific targeted changes are through the Linux native setup. We're not assuming that people are having to like install extra things or workarounds to make it work and things like that. But there are things like there are things that just happen generically for everything as well. So it's both, I guess. Can it be pick up hotkey? Can it be a pickup hotkey for the keyboard mouse as there is one for controller? I don't think we're planning on doing anything like that, but it's possible. I feel like we talked about that and there's a reason we're not doing it. No, I'm blanking on what the reason is.
Impossible.
All right, more questions. What's next? Beaver Mech. Love that name. It's good. I just want to say I'm so damn hyped for the end. Oh, awesome. Especially improvements for the deck. It runs pretty well already using cryo utilities. Can't wait to see it verified. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, it's been a bit of a project getting a Steam Deck verified, but I think it's going to be really, like, a really positive change. Whoa, that's what happens when your mouse is over one.
Impossible.
Alright. Yeah, I'm hoping I haven't been directly involved with that development process. But I'm hoping that there won't even be the like, oh, use cryo utilities. I'm sure most people will still anyways. Just because it's going to help it like even more. All right, when you say Linux native, do you actually mean native or running through Proton compatibility like most Steam Deck games? I don't know. You've got me on at a disadvantage of I do not have a Steam Deck. Let's see if we can find out. With regards to the hoodies and that sort of the merch stuff, I did get a confirmation from people that it is something that is well aware of that needs to be done, but with no ETA. All right. Are there any plans to allow us to influence echoes or specific mechanics like Atlas Tree and PoE? Yes. Not in this little cycle refresh that's happening. Just to be clear. There's not going to be like a big surprise dump of extra stuff. Like of like secret huge mechanics or anything like that. It's the bulk of what it is has already been revealed.
Impossible.
But I think it's gonna have a really nice effect overall. Just like I don't know, I really like the idea of the reset, and the things that are happening is they're really nice. Oh, sorry. With the Steam Deck stuff, I am completely wrong. Going the opposite direction. It is running Windows through Proton. Windows version. More questions. More. I hunger for questions. All right. Any plans for set items to get LP? This should be the center square on the bingo. No, there's no plans for LP to go on to set items. We have a very distinct separate plan for set items that's going to make them like a fun and interesting choice. It's been something we've been talking about for a really long time, and it feels like it's never going to happen. It will happen. Just got to find the right time to work it in. It's also why we've kind of stalled on adding new sets to the game until that happens. Because it's going to have a really big impact on existing sets and how they're designed and how they fit into the overall system of build crafting and things like that. So it's going to be pretty well. They all went exalted. Wow, that's cool. Alright. Any chance our loot filters can cloud save? When I swap PC to Steam Deck, I want the filters to transfer. We don't have that functionality at the moment, I'm sorry.
Here I was.
I'll double check.
Hoping this would lead us closer. We might have no choice but to chat.
Alright. Can someone TLT what's been said so far about Steam Deck? Not a lot. It's going to be better performance. There's UI scaling stuff that's coming in. Yep. Looks like we might be working on the filters syncing. I don't know if it's actually in yet, but someone is working on it. Can you say anything about the planned set rework? Any chance that's coming up the next cycle? No, it's not coming the next cycle. It hasn't been started on at all, other than design. And I've said all I can say about it. Sorry. Alright, would you consider slightly increasing item pickup range and or item label size? I find the basic active looting in LE the most grating relative to its contemporaries due to how hard it can be to click on a label and how the character has to be directly on the item itself to pick it up. This issue is exacerbated when labels are desynced from the items themselves. Like physically just when the too many items drop and they have to move out of the way when several things drop. Yeah. The best way to get something like that considered is to drop it into if you like. I know I just keep saying it sounds like a broken record. We've got suggestions forums and suggestions threads in Discord and places where we want people to put suggestions. It's totally possible. I don't think like anything like that is specifically in the works right now. But like that's mostly just a feels thing, which is quite often what gets taken from feedback. So. Why am I not dropping that? Forgot I have Berserk. It's like half the reason to use it. Right. How does the game decide where to remove skill points from when you take out a plus skill level item? Okay, it's a little tricky. Here's a good example. So here it would take Warrior's Embrace. If I had a plus skill item, it would definitely take Warrior's Embrace. Yeah. And so it's the highest point node that removing a point would not cause a problem. So there's 1, 2, and 3 requirements, but there's no 4 or 5 requirements. So removing a point from here would cause no issues, and it's the highest point node in the whole tree. So that was really easy to figure out which one it would do. When there's multiple nodes that fulfill that requirement, like here we take out Blood Beast for sure. I don't have a good example here. If like both of these were at 4, let's say both the Staggering Roar and Deep Roar were both at 4, which would it take points out of first? It would take 1 point out of Deep Roar first, and then 1 point out of Staggering Roar, and then 1 point out of Deep Roar, and then 1 point out of Staggering Roar. And the way I know that, you're gonna hate. Actually, sorry, because there's 4 down here as well. It would do this one as well. This will be the second one. So we'll go here, then we'll go here, then we'll go here. And the reason I know the order is because I know the order these nodes were added to the game in. Not like added into the game like as from a history perspective, but like from like the order that they sit in the list in the back end. Which I know is not something you can be expected to know, but basically it just picks high point nodes without lots of requirements. And actually I'm wrong, it wouldn't take 4 here because there's a 4 requirement for this one. Sorry, so it just bounced between these two like I originally said. So it takes it from the highest point nodes, and it generally for a lot of nodes, it will start kind of at 11 o'clock and work counterclockwise back. That's kind of the order that most of them go in. So you can kind of get a feel for it that way. Warcry I know follows that. But like the instant someone just like adds a new node and it goes to the end of the list, it just like breaks the whole order, and it's like, so it's not perfect anyways. Clans/guilds, any info? No info, sorry. I think that's something that we are coming around to as a more positive thing soon. But we don't have any info on when. Alright, all things considered, what do you think is the best build to play in a race to 100 Imperial Uprising ladder? I don't know. I really don't know. That's something you should ask people who are going to be racing for that.
When he fled, I saw him heading deeper into the mountains. When you find time, you could take a peek at his
Something where a lot of the build power comes from, like the raw damage output comes more from your trees than from your items. Because you want to spend time as like experience farming and less time as gear farming. Will there be an option to delete pickup only stashes in the near future? I mean, I don't think we plan like an option to delete them really. It's a tiny little drop down in like a side, there's like a little drop down here with little things in there. Is that I guess I could see a reason to want to delete it. I don't think it's on the list right now. Thank you very much. So what do we got here? Spy. Thanks to 19 months, buddy. Appreciate you. Like, it's over a year and a half now. Okay, I got a confirmation that they do not sync now, but they are planned to be synced. The loot filters for Steam Deck. Alright, with improvements to controller gameplay and UI from Steam Deck verification, is console anywhere in the plans? Yeah, I think it's definitely a step towards consoles as a plan. Like it's a step in the right direction. You know, every time we tick off a box of something that's going to need to happen for consoles eventually, because we're doing some other task now, It just means that consoles are more likely to happen sooner and sooner and sooner every time that happens, right? So I think there's like there's not a specific like, hey, we're I don't have a specific news about console development at all right now. But I think the conversation is shifting that way slightly, slowly but surely. Alright, is it possible to get a quick gear switching path so players can swap to movement speed gear and back to like defensive / offensive gear setup? No, like, so specifically you're talking about like you're carrying around gear, and then like you've got like your running gear that you run through, and then you just like quick switch and just like pulls a bunch of gear and puts it on for like wholesale switching your gears to like change what content you're doing on the fly and things like that. Like that's definitely stuff we do not want to encourage at all. Bees, so many bees.
Impossible.
All right, hey, you mentioned loot lizards in the game. Can we expect shards and crafting materials from them, or just gear? Lots of both. Get back here. I didn't give you a hall pass. Beauty. All right. On the removing a skill point topic, I think it would be helpful to have some little reg ring persist until I selected the node. I may have a good long periods of time without not realizing because I didn't notice at first. Yeah, it's supposed to. If it's not, it's a bug. It's supposed to, when you open the skill tree, it's supposed to flash any nodes that had points removed from them recently. They're supposed to like blink red. Don't have anything on me to test it with. Come on. Come on. I know I'm chasing you the wrong way around. They always go clockwise, so you can usually just run. They always run counterclockwise, so you can usually run clockwise. Okay. Next question. Is there any plan to restructure quest echoes in normal monoliths? They are tolerable on the first few characters, but I feel really bad on alts, where you have the power to quickly advance through the normal monos, even though you only have to do half of them. I mean, it's we're what, talking about like 12 quests or something like that, 14 quests. I don't think there's any specific plans to restructure them right now. I can see why it wouldn't be like, I don't know, hugely sought after things to do. There are lots of things we're doing to make speeding up alts in general faster. I don't know if it'll be targeted there, but there's lots of like, get your alts leveled faster, changes that we are bringing in, more focused on the campaign itself. Because at least with the monos, they are like the quest echoes, they are still like appropriately leveled content at least. So you're seeing all the things that can go in there in monoliths and their side events and things like that. Alright, are you guys ever going to add supporter packs with merch like shirts and art prints like PoE? Yeah, we've actually done that before. I would not be surprised to see something like that make a comeback once we have a merch store up and running. Could a droppable currency for stash tabs be possible? I can't justify using gold for lightless armor in COF because my stash always has to expand. I don't think anything like that is currently planned. It's not impossible though. Wow, we've gone into shark down here apparently. Yeah, I should respec this a lot. I'm just gonna keep going and then I will respec it properly later. Do not do what I do because it's really bad. It always is. Except when I'm following other people's stuff, then it's okay. Alright, the red flashing of nodes removal doesn't actually work, at least since 0.92. Really? It's been that long? God. Well, it's supposed to. Definitely not recording it. I swear. I don't do that on stream. Where is it? There it is. Definitely am not doing it. Yeah. Alright. Any plan to make getting to 100 shorter? Hitting 100 this cycle was very long. Not really. We're not really expecting players to hit level 100. It's sort of a stretch goal, a stretch achievement type mechanic for us. It's not a something that we're expecting players to do regularly. Like builds come online way before level 100, and the difference between level a 95 build and a 100 build is so minimal in almost every situation. It's more of a prestige thing. Yeah, I'll just keep stacking that. Not gonna let us. Well, let's get in here. Nah, didn't think so. Worth a shot though, right? All right. I see someone that's asking why I'm not answering them. Just so you know, if you want me to answer your question, please put at Last Epoch Game in the question, and I will answer it. I just skipped over it because it was. I usually don't read the ones that aren't tagged to me because I'm assuming that's people talking to each other.
Impossible.
All right. Oops. How often do you dream of the day where the only bugs in LE that people complain about are those stupid stag beetle mounts, those fire nasty exploding spears? That'd be great. Only one bug? Poof. But I mean, then we couldn't add more bugs into the game, like etymological bug, like not animals but insects. All right, Mike, where's the next one? As a casual player, I find an item to upgrade my high-level character 2 to 3 times per week. It is very frustrating to have the crafting system ruin them more often than not. Just venting. Cool. Thanks for the venting. Let me in, let me in. Alright, this is a first world problem, but would it be possible to have templates for stash tabs for those of us who always organize our stash the same way every cycle? Yeah, I think that's a reasonable request. We don't have anything like that going at the moment.
I've been expecting you.
You should have seen him, yes.
I've heard of your power. Let's see how you face this. Who are you?
Get the berserk going. Keep it. Yeah, keep berserk. Just gotta keep berserk going. Berserk and frenzy. Oh, easy. Just churning through that like butter. All right. This is a point that I see so many people die, and like I know I'm gonna do it right here too, just because I'm calling it out. But there's like such a difficulty on the damage output spike that's coming in, especially in fire damage, which I have such great resistances for. 50, it's 50.
Back in my time. Wait, I recognize these mountains. I must hurry. Impossible.
More questions. That's what I'm doing. Not playing the game. I'm here to answer questions, aren't I? Alright. What do you think personally of a small reward chest for every level 100 every level after 100? Throw in some uniques with higher LP chance or something. I can see why you're why you'd be interested in something like that. It kind of has the opposite effect that we're looking for with what level 100 represents. So it gives a tangible, like a major reason to be 100 and go past 100, where it's like we're saying like, hey, yeah, keep doing it. This is the optimal way to farm, is by just getting to 100 and keeping to farm after 100 this one character. And we kind of want to say to players like it's okay to play other classes, and it's okay to diversify a little bit and try things out. So I don't know how much. All right, second time we tried this on this class, I could turn into something not bad. Berserk does work. Oh, I love Berserk. I just got a great idea. Okay. Right. Any plans on... Whoa, that is... A preview screen is just going nuts. I hope it wasn't like that on stream. Alright. Will we see Minion DPS in tooltips eventually one day? I sure hope so. It's not ready yet. For inventory filter, you guys work on affixes, tier search, for example, tier 7 int and tier 6 strength. I don't think it's that granular. You can get pretty close to that because you can have multiple conditions per entry now. Any plans on making keys stackable there? Instead of adding a key ring, I don't bother picking up them after. I have 6 stash tabs full. Wow. Yeah, we're working on this. It's not for this mid-cycle refresh, but yeah, you'll see some UI updates for the inventory that will, among other things, include a keyring that is in development right now. I can confirm we are actively working on it for the first time. An actual dedicated key inventory. There's some other things that fall in that same category that are on the horizon, like in the same patch and then the patch after that as well type thing. So it's going to become very necessary to have a more generic way of dealing with items like that in the future. Because having your inventory like fill up is an important pressure on not picking up too many items at the same time. Like being a little discerning with which items you're picking up, so that pressure is good to have, but we don't want that pressure to persist past the decision of like what I can carry with me versus what's in town. And then a lot of these things also just aren't overly awesome to do that with anyways, so like we're doing that because we only have one companion right now. So yeah, they'll be on the same sort of tier as runes and glyphs and affixes. One hour into the stream check. We're doing pretty good. 4 hours behind. Oh, I missed the question too. When will we see you fight Abberoth? I'm not sure. I want to give it a try like organically and not use like cheated stuff. So maybe I'll probably just keep playing off cycle, and fight Abberoth then with these characters. I will try and get a character build up and ready to go for it before the next major patch if I can. That'll be my goal. Maybe the question has already been asked, but will you consider add challenges with exclusives rewards for new cycle? That's a whole minefield of stuff. Like what's okay to put in there, what's not okay to put in there. There's all sorts of difficult questions to answer. It is not impossible. We don't have anything planned specifically for this one yet. Should probably get some prophecy, shouldn't I? Yes, please. Yes, please. Are the loot lizards cute? Oh yeah. They're awesome. There's some cute little things that'll be fun to experience for the first time organically. Barbarian when it's ready, and we decide to do it. Any plans for a unified auction house? Any plans for a unified auction house for trading QL? Oh, like a not having to go to different people for each like base item type. I think that's the goal, but it's not. It was not possible at all initially, and I don't think it's we finished all the updates that need to be done to make that possible yet. All right, quick two-part quest icon question. Will it be possible to hide campaign quests, seeing them on the character whose fast track to endgame triggers my completionist? Second part, yeah, it's a little frustrating. I agree. I don't think there's anything set up to do that, but I would appreciate it myself. Second part, what's with the phantom optional quest in the ancient era? I still see the icon after 100% of the game, even after visiting the secret area in that era. It's just a bug. Just a bug.
Go north. Retrieve the logs.
Put your weapon and did here. Come. We have much to discuss.
Much to discuss.
I should not have waited so long to come here. I am stronger now. I am ready to regain my honor.
Alright. What happens to our items in the bazaar for sale when a cycle refresh restart happens? Do they stay in the bazaar or like on legacy, or do they move to the inventory? They should just stay there.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Farewell.
We don't have much. Then you will but Raya is the larger threat. If freeing Mortitus is what we
Bit of side quest? Yes, but actually go do it. Oh, this one's saying the quest icons that show up are for the Monolith quest. I think those are different ones. Yeah. I think there's just like a bugged quest in there. Be my guess. At least survivors win. Probably not branching out just yet. Here we go. Nice double pickup. Of course, up a cliff. Oh, hazel root. I mean, at least it's themed together nicely, but come on, give me some fire, not lightning. All those buffs stack up and it goes a little nutty. Love it. Alright, why is the new cycle only lasting a month? Are we getting a 1.2 on the 20th of October? With the there's no end date for the cycle, there's an end date for the event that we posted. So the event being the extra like increase, all the temporary increases, like the reputation gain increase and the I think it was extra drops and things like that. So like those temporary boosts, those last a month. We don't have any available information on the time for when 1.2 will release. Sorry. Would love to be able to tell you. Nothing. Yeah, it's I know it's a little confusing. Any plans to have a ladder for killing Abby or something like that? You posted once how many killed or died to him in hardcore beginning of the cycle, which was cool. Yeah. We are looking at more ladders, more dynamic ladders. There's a few different places that those are coming in. I want to do this, but I gotta take points out elsewhere. So we go up here for now. Are we getting tiers for idols or a better sorting system? They want exalted again. That's nice. I do like that it left a whole stat open there. Taxi. I mean, this is not terrible, but it's like a melee fire spell lightning. It's a mess. Not what I wanted there. It's fine though. Oh, I lost it. It's too bad. It's okay. Dude, it's a lot of vitality. It's like where half our defense is coming from. Crit avoidance is really nice though. Can we craft this up a little bit? You slap a bunch of health on it. Yeah. The crit avoidance is really nice. So much health and endurance lost. The flat crit is so strong. Right. Okay. Are we getting tiers for idols or better sorting system? We've been talking about idols a lot lately. There's nothing in the immediate future on changing how that functions, but we're definitely looking at how we can improve that system overall. Because there's some unfortunate stuff happening with them right now. It's kind of one of those last bastions of ways to optimize builds, and the tools to do that are not great. Have you already revealed what the 1.2 Primordial uniques are, by the way? Hopefully not an ancient Primordial idea from D3. Surely. We've given zero information on the Primordial uniques and what that might eventually be. Alright, thoughts on number of LP using an effect system similar to D2 magic rare mods. Less mods equals higher range. Yeah, could be an interesting way to add flavor to low LP uniques versus chasing higher LP. I mean, there's already a system for balancing like LP ranges against each other. From a per unique standpoint. Having the mod not come over fully, I think would be confusing and feel real bad. Like you get situations where like a 1 LP item would actually be better than a 3 LP item if you could get the right mod over on it. I don't think that's I don't think that's intuitive. I think it's better just to have items that aren't legendary items that aren't like quite as good as other ones. Like having certain items be better than others is just how item systems work. I don't know. Alright, any plans to fix items not getting picked up when you click on them? If you're having a bug, please report it to the bug places and we'll fix all the bugs. I'm not experiencing this bug with you. Alright, the event's temporary increase reminds me of Diablo 3 temporary doubling legendary drops for its anniversary. Everyone loved it so much they demanded it to be permanent, and Blizzard actually left it in the game. Do you anticipate anything like this happening with LE's temporary buff, specifically faction reputation? I think that there's always going to be a call to do something like this, regardless of if we've done this or not. I think giving everyone a taste of it would be dangerous if there was if that was like never an option possibly. But I don't think that there's not something we're anticipating doing really. All right. Is the cycle refresh with Steam Deck verified improvements also when the new engine version comes? No, it's still in the old version. We like just today actually. Well, in 42 minutes, we're officially switching over our internal development to the new engine. New engine version, I should say, not new engine. It's the same engine, new version. Which means all the stuff we developed for this update is in the old one still. Alrighty. Is this mid-cycle character reset likely to become a regular occurrence? I don't think so. I'd be pretty surprised. It's not impossible, but I don't think so. I mean, it goes well enough, maybe. I don't know. It's a really hard I'm thinking this more and more, like it's really hard to predict, right? Some things that you slap in the game temporarily, you're like, oh, no one will actually like this, but it's necessary now for a temporary thing, and it just like sticks and people love it, and it grows and evolves. Sometimes that happens. Any planes? Get that white mana. To remove 1 LP from NEMS, it's not fun to put in 0 LP and get a 1 LP. We better to see a stat. No, we don't have plans for that. But as always, if you'd like to make a suggestion, please head on over to our suggestions forums and we will read it and assess it and consider it and all that sort of good stuff. Just out of curiosity, was there ever a bug during development that became a feature for whatever reason? Oh, I'm sure there was. Do I know what any of them are off the top of my head? Not even close. I mean, okay, the Falcon dive bomb ability, Falcon's dive bomb ability is really similar, and I think uses actually some of the same tech as Meteor. For when there was a mistake, someone was making a change to Meteor, and instead of spawning the Meteor explosion when it impacts, because Meteor is actually 3 abilities that chain together, and like every individual Meteor is 3 abilities, and The third part of that is the explosion and the shrapnel that comes. This explosion which creates the shrapnel. So it's actually 4 parts. And the explosion got switched out for the wolf prefab. Like the summon wolf prefab, so it was like meteor wolf became a joke ability that was sitting around in our in the back end for quite a while. And what is dive bomb but meteor falcon, right? That's the closest example I can think of. But I know there's lots of other things that's happened to. Yeah, I can't really think of any others right now. Oh, stiff and sore right now, apparently. What are the new key or the key/new features that the new engine has, and what would be the benefits? I mean, a lot of it is internal stuff for us, where there's like new things we can do with it that are kind of subtle, but have performance implications. The biggest things that will be like player facing, probably fairly quickly, is that it does give us access to DLSS and FSR, which is pretty nice. That's probably the most immediate thing. And it'll be a little bit before that's actually implemented and pushed out as part of a build and everything like that, yada yada yada. But like, you know, that's a big part of why we're making that switch. Oh. Love the MTG reference, yeah. It was subtle, but it was there. Are there / will there be MTG hidden references in LE? As someone who named like a couple hundred nodes early on in development and plays like enough Magic that there's so many card names rattling around in my head, I'm sure that accidentally I've named dozens of nodes just what Magic cards are. A lot on Mage probably. I do a lot of Izzet stuff, so there's a lot of a lot of burn spells floating around in my head. So not explicitly like, here I'm gonna put in a reference, but just like it'll happen. Making a Mrs. Bumbleflower deck right now. Very excited. That sounds like a ridiculous sentence, but it's gonna be so good. We play Kingdoms, an EDH variant that puts people on pseudo teams. No! Yes. Perfect. Everything is fine. No one freak out. Thanks, Mike. I won't freak out. Alright, is it intentional that you lose your knight's rank with your last hardcore character dying? No. That's a bug. As a follow-up, Primalist Meteor Wolf spell when... Call it like Primal Comet. Can't be cold damage, can't be fire damage. Alright, any plans for a system like Regex coming to stash tabs? We are, like Regex, vaguely maybe? I think the goal would be to make it a much more approachable system by default. 18 gold res. Who's ready to die? A whole bunch.
Possible.
Well, let's get Berserk up. It keeps falling. Avalanche, why do you hate me so much? I know I tried to have you deleted, but come on, is this any way to treat a friend? Berserk needs like an extra 2 seconds. Not even. Actually like half a second. Alright. Where are we going? Where are we jumping to? The tundra. Thank you very much. Hey, Rex! Thank you very much. Whoa, Rex. Hey, that's a lot of people. Hey, everybody! We are playing some Last Epoch, talking about the new announcement that just went out, and having some fun. Yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. Please put at Last Epoch game before the question if you'd like me to answer it, and I'll be happy to. Right now, I'm playing I'm just leveling up my Raptor boy. Got lots to do still on him. Like, go the right direction. All right. Well, we see a lot of bug fixes on reset. Yeah, there's gonna be bug fixes in the reset. And what's the reason behind not making any balance changes, since it could be an opportunity to fix things and test them after the fix? It's a very long, convoluted thing to get into about why we're not doing any balance changes. I think we're not trying to. Like, we're trying to keep the scope low and the impact low on what's actually going to be happening here. We're not trying to push this as a full-blown new, like a full new cycle, a full new patch, a full new, like, everything that we normally would put into a major patch. The scope's a lot lower, and significant balance changes. There's so many of them that are tied to other ones is the big problem. So, like, once we start doing, we're like, okay, we gotta fix this. Okay, we fix that, we gotta fix this. Okay, if we gotta fix that, we gotta fix this. And there's just so many knock-on effects that it starts to balloon outside of the scope of what we want for this. It's kind of the short version.
Possible.
All right, keep it rolling. More questions. Are you worried about the mid-cycle refresh further segmenting the remainder player base between legacy and these mini-cycle? It seems like there's a lot of players that don't really want to start over for non-major release. I'm concerned the division of players might make the game seem more barren. It's possible. I think the people that are still playing in the current cycle on like cycle, there's not really a huge difference between playing on that cycle and playing in legacy as it is now, because it's been going on for long enough that it's kind of just there's almost 2 legacy cycles happening at the same time to a degree, just because it's been going for so long. So I think if you're really interested in like in cycle as a gameplay mechanic, you'll be happy for a reset. And if you're more interested in just continuing to play the characters that you have, I think most players should be fine with continuing to play with what they're playing on, like without jumping into the new cycle and starting over again, because you can just keep playing. There's no new feature segmentation between cycle and legacy, so you will be able to have full access to everything that the cycle players have. So I think it's a matter of like pros pretty significantly outweigh the cons, even though it's not perfect. All right. Any plans to make an exact perfect? Any plans on making the exact perfect item I want drop every time I play COF only and refuse to use MG because I like to find my own gear? Absolutely. As long as that item makes the game way harder for you to play because it's available right at the start of the game from a bear in a cave. All right. What is the most exciting thing about Imperial Uprising that you can tell us about? I mean, it's all in that. Everything is in that that teaser, not teaser, the announcement post that went out. Really. What's my favorite thing that went into that post? I think it's the loot lizards. That's gonna be. I think that's gonna be the best part personally. Yeah. We did a few tests on them internally, and they just immediately felt great. Like to no one's surprise at all. Any plans on making the exact? Oh, I answered that. Unity question: have you considered using Unity Toolkit after version upgrade? I do not know. I'm sure the people. So there's people that are sort of that run the engine management side of things for the project, and I'm sure they've considered all of that stuff. It's just more efficient to have people like really get invested in that decision and, you know, learn everything they can about it and make all those decisions from a very educated standpoint, and have the rest of us be able to focus on more game specific implementation things.
Impossible.
Mike dies bingo, yay! Woohoo! Congrats. When we will get unique armors to look like the unique tooltips? Yeah, it's slowly we're trying to get as many of these to happen as possible. It does take quite a while to do. It's the same old story. Like we add more unique items faster than we can make unique models, because adding a unique item stats wise and things is much faster than putting in the 3D models. So you know we're working on them. It's a slow process. We're gonna keep doing them, but this is not an uncommon request. There's everybody. Whew. How's it going? Might stay a little longer if people are got lots of questions from Rax. Do any of you play on the Steam Deck? That's probably actually the most. What am I talking about? Greedy me over here with my loot lizards. The Steam Deck changes are probably the coolest thing. Any thoughts on new character class in the future? Oh yes. I mean, there's no shortage of like ideas for new character classes on the team, and you know, ones we want to do are like, oh, it'd be so cool to do this eventually. We've left key gaps in the classes very intentionally already, so we like know that there's room for really specific changes to be made, like, and new class archetypes to get brought in. Yeah, smooth. All right. Yeah, there's some key gaps in class fantasies that we've pretty intentionally left in place, so that we can add new classes for them. And then on top of that, there are also some sub archetypes for existing classes that new masteries could fill really well as well. So yeah, we've definitely been looking at that. It's a ways out still. There's a lot to do on existing classes before we actually branch out with new ones. But yeah, definitely in the works. And there's different ways that can look, and you know, different paths we've looked at that we're considering still. Any plans for DLSS? Can't play the game now without it. Other resolution scaling might help as well. Yeah. I'm not sure when you got here I was talking about this. That's something that the new engine upgrade we are working on will enable us to do. Currently it is unavailable. I desperately need cold res for this area. Desperately. Ever coming out on console? Yeah, it's something we are heavily looking forward to, but we don't have any specific plans for or dates that we can share, anything like that. It's definitely an untapped market that we know we need to expand into. There's a lot of things we are working on leading up to that will just be nice carry-on features. So a lot of the Steam Deck work we've been doing recently is going to help us towards an eventual console release. All the controller updates we've been doing recently, same sort of thing. Like, there's a lot of stuff we're doing that's going to make it so we can do that eventually. As a studio, this would be our first console game, so we don't have an existing relationship and like dev kits and things like that that are already prepped and ready to go. So there's a few fairly significant hurdles before we actually can do something like that, but it's becoming more and more important as time goes on. Might be a good chest though. Nice. I managed to drop a frenzy totem before starting Berserk, and that just is so much damage. Oh, that was some damage. Alright, answer that. What is the reason for the reset? Should we expect, what should we expect from the new event? And will we be seeing anything new besides the event? I mean, so we're looking to sort of refresh the cycle, let people who want to start new can start new, and we want to do that in the context of this event specifically, so we can see the effect that it has on how people play the game and things like that. All the major stuff that is coming with the event is listed in the announcement. So if you're wondering what's coming, check out the announcement. There's like bug fixes and stuff like that come with basically every patch that's coming as well. But you know, like there's no major balance changes or significant content updates that are left out of that announcement. Alright, can we get ults the COF/MG faster? I mean, you should be able to pick your faction in the first town.
Impossible.
And like if you need to access the the actual auction house, like the bazaar or prophecies and things like that, like you can just switch to other characters, which I know is maybe not ideal for if you want to be interacting with that on the character you're on currently. I know we've been talking about some more easy to use campaign skip jumps through the campaign. So yeah, there might be some stuff there. Probably looking farther in the future though. Alright, more questions. Can we get... Alright, so that... Why are they called Cursed Veterans Boots? When given the drop location, you should call that feature Unbearable Mode. It's meant to indicate what they do really clearly. So if someone picks them up by accident, they see that it is a cursed item, that's a pretty big indicator that it is something bad. And then it says veterans boots. It's trying to say like, hey, this is for someone who's really experienced at the game. This is bad, and it's for someone who's experienced. If you've never played the game before and you see an item named like that, it at least gives some signposting without reading the actual item itself. Because I've seen people just slap it on without reading it, and I've seen people play with it sitting on their character for a whole hour, not realize that they had it, and just get their ass handed to them. And it definitely am not describing myself last weekend, I swear. Yeah, I forgot I had it equipped and was dying a bunch last stream, but it was fine. What am I putting points into? Warcry. We coming down here really? We're healing? Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Should be finishing up these probably. More questions. I hunger for questions. All right. Is there a feature from a different ARPG that you would love to still get added to LE? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, kind of a cop-out answer. I have a better answer. Jesus Christ. A lot of damage. That stomp that he's like in the middle of the animation for is like devastating damage. Yeah, Frenzy, Berserk, so good together.
Tell me more. Mortal Emperor on our journey.
Another chapter down. Okay, the feature is procedural generation. That's I know it's like such an obvious thing, but we don't have it. We need it.
I know things are great. If to be honest, I can't imagine it. But I will take your warnings to heart.
Pretty sure that activates. I think town ones activate as soon as you enter the town now, but walk over just in case. Why don't we get jerseys for the arena ladder? Why don't we get jerseys for the arena ladder like COFMG? And will we get cycle titles for past achievements of top places in the ladder? I think if we start adding in things for that, yeah, I'd like to see it be applied retroactively to some degree. I don't know if it must be doable. Like, we've got the data stored. I don't know, but if it's possible, I will advocate heavily for it. It's about the best I can do. Is there any plans to bring other team members from EHG for panel Q&A streams? Yeah, definitely. We've done it a few times with like one person with me, which I think worked really well because it was a specialized topic. I think I'd like to get VFX in here. I think that would be a really cool one to talk to. Possibly the composer as well. I think that would be really interesting. If any of you are watching, let me know. Alright, will these loot lizards drop any new uniques or item types? There's nothing. Ooh, I don't think there's anything exclusive to them. So there's you're not gonna be like, let me go farm loot lizards to find this specific item I'm looking for to complete my build. It's more of like a ooh, piece of candy style. Down there. Derek on stream. Yeah, Derek would be great. Derek, if you're watching, you want to come join me? Not right now, I assume, but yeah. Warrior / barbarian / berserker class when? Yeah, that's a pretty common request. That gets brought up as like the 4th primalist suggestion pretty frequently. Barbarian's usually what people call it, but yeah, berserker, warrior class. Warrior sometimes has that sword and board plate wielder vibe to it, so it probably wouldn't be called warrior if we did something like that. Personally, I prefer the barbarian berserker type feel, like a wild man, woodsman, huntsman type style. But you know, we haven't actually officially announced any specifics on what the first Fallout classes are going to be. It's just a lot of speculation. All right. Any plans for character customization in 2 genders? Yes. Yes, we are still planning that. We're still working on it. It's not just around the corner type feature, but yes. It's one of those features that for the people that it's important for, it is crucial. It is critical. It is mandatory. And for the people who, for everyone else, it's kind of whatever. And there's people that don't fall into specifically those categories, but generally that's when we see like new forum posts and new Reddit posts pop up, it's so frequently like started off with a post that's like, not having this means I won't play this game, and a bunch of people being like, yeah, me too, and that's insane. Or so the 2 reactions. And I do not think it's insane at all. But those are sort of the 2 camps that usually emerge from posts like that. And for the people that's really important for, it's a feature we want to deliver on. How do you feel about the ward that bosses get after the implementation? Are you planning any changes or tuning? We're always looking at tuning things. I think the overall functionality for them is fantastic, and it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's speeding up fights for low power builds. It's slowing down fights for overpowered builds. It's hitting all the notes it needs to hit. I think the only thing is that there might be some like ways we can improve the presentation a bit, so it's more obvious that that's the effect it's having. Not sure exactly how to do that yet, but it's hitting all the notes, and there's whatever system we have in place, there's always going to be discussion on if it's as good as it can be, right? That's to be expected and welcomed. I will say I haven't seen any other suggestions that that don't cause bigger and worse problems than they're trying to solve. Doesn't mean they're not out there. I haven't seen any yet. And I always encourage people, if they've got ideas, to share them. Hey, we got some cheering happening. Taste of Ashes. A little bit of cheer action. Thank you very much. We do a stream for charity. It all goes up there. All right. You should bring Derek concert. Oh, yeah, let's say art. Yeah. Maybe sometime in the future, Mike. Come on, look at the screen instead of the chat. What are you doing? Maybe sometime in the future, a class like Witch Doctor. Love that class in D3, missing in D4. Nothing like it in any other game. Yeah, I think Witch Doctor is a really interesting class because it doesn't really fit, like, the Necromancer vibe, and it's clearly distinct from that, from like a thematic perspective. So it's hard to fit in as an acolyte. It almost fits in better as a primalist subclass, like a primalist mastery, or something completely different. I'm not gonna give you any indication on like if it's likely or not likely type thing, because we're keeping the cards close to the chest on specific mastery types. But like hitting those class fantasies that maybe aren't delivered in Last Epoch yet is something we are interested in doing. And there's quite a few spaces that we've left gaps for pretty intentionally. You can see that often represented by weapon types as well. So like, there's no like, whoa, I saw it happening. Ugh. There's no one that really uses like fist weapons at all. There's no one that uses crossbows. And there's other things too, so there's definitely room. I summoned my pet. that like half my build's based around. When I actually use my abilities right, pretty strong. Funny how that works, isn't it? Alright. When will we see... When will we get a skill VFX? When will we get a skill VFX? Also, since we don't get Also, since we don't get shard auto loot because they're items, shard VFX when? Will my inventory be full of M&Ms? No? I'm a little confused by that whole sentence there.
Don't lose your way.
Like skill MTX? Is that what you're... Yeah, okay, it's probably skill MTX. I'm trying to lower the weight on shards over here, and you're suggesting we increase the weights on shards. Less awesome. Berserk to the rescue, though. Ding. Level up. Alright. Reply boss war. Alright. Chicken runs for the win. Do you have a person who monitors the internet forums, especially Chinese, for any critical bugs and dupes affecting your players? I mean, yeah, we've got people that are constantly looking out for people posting out things about dupes and stuff like that. It is way higher monitored than normal discussions. We can get ahead of any sort of dupes that is extremely valuable. Alright, if we're talking about new classes, there's one you can do then no one else can, a Traveler class. Tendencies are based on Divine, Imperial, and Ruined Ears. This is a cool idea. They could get God, and Emperor, and Orbis blessings, unlimited potential. That is very cool. Like almost like an unclass. I think that would be a fairly far future version once we've got most of the other the key archetypes in place. Are you planning on changes to the arena? If so, what would be the direction the changes might be? Yeah, we're looking at the arena as something that is quite dated at this point. So yeah, there's updates for the arena that are like when we do a proper major patch, probably being considered much more heavily. I would be looking at them I think the big things the arena is missing personally is access to interaction with a lot of the side mechanics that we put in place in the game, especially arena echoes in the Monolith. And then also the arena in general is too much of a test of personal endurance as it is from character potential, and I think that alleviating some of that would be really valuable. There's a few different ways you can do that, just from like being able to have a little more control over the speed of wave spawning, like in the terms of like speeding it up. And then also in terms of just scaling rate, probably could get looked at too. This is all long-term stuff though. This is not, do not expect this on the 17th. Or 19th, sorry. Run! They're chasing us. Oh no! Nice. You can hear them land still after it finishes. I met skill MTX. The other sharp, it was a joke. Okay, cool. Awesome. Will there be an expansion? I take you too seriously is the problem sometimes. Will there be an expansion of the number of rules, a loot filter, so you can make more detailed and easy to farm? Unlikely. I'd say this. It's more likely that we probably continue to increase the power individual rules have. We're already pushing the limit with 75 rules per filter for stability and performance. So I wouldn't expect more rules, but we are looking at ways to make it so you don't need as many rules. Hello, let me through. So I walked around backwards. More questions. I'm sure you're sick of this question. Probably not. But are updates to dungeons planned in the next big update, or is that still a ways out? There's a couple little things for dungeons that we are looking at for the next the cycle refresh. But the major changes that we're looking at for dungeons to really improve the overall functionality and like step dungeons up to the next level is not going to be until the next major patch. Go back into the tower. I never did the tower.
Possible.
I feel like I'm really over leveled for this. I'm not. I'm actually under leveled. That's a good sign. Alright, I'm waving now and forever. All rights to Traveler class. I just want to see it happen. Thank you very much. Who are you? A community manager? I am one of the senior developers for 11th Hour Games. I've been here since before Kickstarter. Can't get rid of me, no matter how hard they try. No. Yeah, I'm just a longtime dev for the game, and I do this stream every week. Yeah, I'm actually transitioning right now more design focused stuff for a longer term project for the game, which is it's tough because I'm like, I want to talk about it so bad every day to everyone, and I just can't.
Liath's been known to be.
Gods be with you.
Though I see her as a friend.
But yes, feel free to blame many bugs on me.
Farewell.
These waters are by.
Alright.
The traveler sets sail.
Your voice is luscious, but I am going to have to skip it. Do you think you will ever add new eras or alternate eras to the future? Kind of like what if eras. Yeah, I mean, so there's that's a little bit of what this is actually. Sort of like what if twists on the eras. So there's a little bit of that already, but yes, there is room for new eras to emerge in the game, and like different, you know, it's a time travel game. There's room for shenanigans. Regarding improving the power of loot filter rules, do we have plans for individual unique selection similar to how we can do with affixes? There's nothing specific on the books for that, but it's not impossible, and if you'd like to see it, please go to the suggestions forums and put it there. I don't actually take anything from the stream and like write it down and take it back after the stream and go, okay, here's all the things that were suggested for the stream. No, as soon as I finish reading the question, it's gone. I'm sure there's a few things that stick in my subconscious. Regarding improvement, or answer that. You didn't actually answer about the skill MTX. Oh, I'm sorry. When can we expect them? Are you already working on them? And can you tell us which skills are being worked on first? I can't tell you when you should expect them. You shouldn't. I can tell you should not expect them in the 1.1 cycle refresh event. They will not be coming then. We have started working on them, just barely, and I cannot tell you which abilities will be first. I would, because I just don't know. But I would guess that abilities that are less intensive and more popular probably have higher shots of being hit first. And things that have really significant and really obviously awesome things that could go like adjustments that you're like, it's just so obviously great. It fits so perfectly. Things like that would probably come in first, on things that are, popular spells that are lower scope. So like example of scope differences, like Fireball is dramatically lower scope than Werebear for an MTX skill MTX. Hopefully it's Space Epoch. Alright, I have a technical question. I'll do my best. But sometimes these do stump me. I'm using a skill which applies ignites. Is the ignites... I think it's damage. Yeah, we switched the M and the G. A damage affected by my main attribute, and if so, how? Same question for minions. So yes, indirectly, and here's how. So if you let's look at swipe for a second, and we're gonna use bleed instead of ignite because I have bleed. Bleed. Here we go. Bleed chance. 80% bleed chance whenever I attack. So I apply bleed when I attack. Great. The damage that bleed does is going to scale with a few stats, most notably increased physical damage and increased dot damage and increased bleed damage. So like things that hit the tags that bleed has, basically. If I'm applying that dot with swipe, all the things that directly affect swipes damage in those categories is passed on to the bleed that it applies. So my main damage scaler for swipe, as far as an attribute goes, is strength right now. So I get 80% increased damage from my strength, 4% per point. That 80% increased damage from strength is converted, like the strength converts to damage when I use swipe. So when I use swipe, that ability doesn't have strength, that ability has increased damage that's calculated from swipe, or from strength, sorry. And so when that swipe applies bleed, that increased damage that came from strength originally is applied to the bleed because increased damage applies to bleed. So yes, the attribute that of the ability, the scaling attribute of the ability that applies the ailment indirectly does get applied to that ailment's damage. Hope that was informative and not horribly confusing. If it is, please feel free to ask again and I will try my best to make it more clear. Rough estimate on amount of new skills coming cycle 3. I can't tell you, I'm sorry. Oh, Aaron. Sorry, bud. Can't tell you. Come on, pick up. That one worked. Probably because it was 3 all in a bunch. It was actually only 1. Just me being greedy. That's okay. Please console release, please. It's a little ways out still, but it is on the horizon. Distant horizon, but you know, like we're if we get closer, we'll have more info. But for now, it is just an exciting idea. A lot of the stuff we're doing for the Steam Deck release is helping a lot to prepare us for that. Because we're kind of treating Steam Deck like a console in a way. It's like a soft semi console. The amount of work that needs to be done to adapt it. Those eggs are bugged. Yeah. Okay, sweet. Here we do it. We can do it. Let's do it. Eggs in coral pools don't pick up and stop sparkling when you get them. Easy. That's how easy it is to report a bug.
You were told not to come here. Yes, it would be wise to leave immediately.
I should grab the other one. Do you plan on weakening classes from ballista level to average? Do you plan on weakening classes from ballista level to average in any way, or will you go the route of strengthening weak classes instead of weakening strong ones? There's not a one size fits all answer to balancing abilities and classes against each other. It's a very dynamic process that requires buffs and nerfs simultaneously to individual skills. Sometimes, like it's not just a matter of like, hey, this one ability is too strong, you should nerf it, or this one ability is not strong enough, you should buff it. There's lots of things that have to work together to make balance changes effective, and I don't think that a blanket policy of buffs or nerfs is generally appropriate with Last Epoch. So like we're interested in both buffs and nerfs as we balance the game. Taking a balanced approach to balancing. Alright, any discussion on future Void minion? Please say yes. I don't like a Void, like what class could even have a Void minion nicely? I guess Void Knight, but like Forge Guard's more the minion class mastery for there. I don't think we really have a class that fits Void minion theme super well right now. It would have to go on an item, I think. It's the only way it could really work.
Impossible. Impossible.
Necromancer? No, it's not Void themed. Physical, necrotic, poison. That's Necromancer. I guess with some cold too. The chill of the grave. Ailment's explanation was okay. I just wish to see it reflected on the ailment damage on the character sheet. Right now it's not. Yeah, the problem there is because it's different for every ability. So if you have say I've got yeah, here we go. So say I've got Serpent Strike on my bar, and I'm looking at the damage that that serpent, like the poisons applied by Serpent Strike and poisons applied by Swipe. will have different damage scaling based on the attribute because it's using a different ability to translate that attribute into damage.
I have warned you again and again, yet you persist. If you wish for Lagon's temple to be your tomb, then so be it.
You have a void minion affix on weapons? Do we really? Oh, I guess there's and then I'm like, wait a minute, did we cut that? Shoot. Do we have any void minion damage anywhere, actually? Like minions that can use void damage abilities. Is that a dead stat? I guess the only way to actually do it is to put void damage on a weapon and give that weapon to a forge guard and a like, so do forge guard void damage. I think it's the only way to do it. By transferring weapon damage to it. So it's not completely dead. It's there to complete the cycle, and you know, maybe it's hinting at something, I guess. I don't know. All 51. I didn't even notice. A whole other class ability. Using Frenzy Totem? Yeah, Frenzy Totem. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Probably not here yet. Go down there next. Sweet. What are we doing passives? Going up here? Going up here. Let's explore. Oh my goodness, we are way over time. This is this is why we can't make such a good game, because I just get enthralled with the game and I forget that I'm streaming on a schedule where I'm gonna end at a certain time. Gotta get back to work, guys. Don't tell my boss I'm slacking. All right, we'll get to, oh, we're right here. There's this long stretch with like Lieth and Lagon. I want to do it so bad. I think we're probably gonna have to cut out before that. I'm gonna leave this section for next time. I might actually do this section offline, but I know people like seeing Lagon. We're gonna answer a few last questions, and then we'll wrap it up here in a couple minutes. So if you have any last second questions, get them in. All right. We are sorry. Pano Saint, we are still looking at improving the character sheet in general, so that you will be able to see things like that damage applied by, like that specific, when I'm talking about like the damage from an ailment coming from different sources being different, we do want to include that in the character sheet still. So ability specific character sheet stats are something we are planning to do. So I probably sound a little dismissive there on adding something like that, but it is something we are interested in doing. It's just taking a little while. Do you think auras like PoE will ever be added to LE? In that they all classes have access to them? Probably not. One of the big like design pillars that we have is class identity. So there are actual mechanics that we really try to limit which classes they go on, and have those tools be, you know, kind of like special as like especially gameplay mechanics. And so auras are so heavily thematically tied to paladins that they're there's some light aura things that happen elsewhere, like, you know, like there's frenzy totem here, and there's like there's some damage aura things like fire aura and maelstrom and things like that, and aura of decay. So, you know, there's things like that that branch out, but the like typical like people near you on your team get buff XYZ. Those types of effects are probably going to be primarily focused around Paladin for a long time. Not to say they can't branch out a little bit, but that's the like main place they live. You know, like how there's like the down companions that you can resurrect are strictly a Beastmaster thing, or a Primalist thing, I guess. You know, there's individual mechanics we try to keep firmly fixed on specific classes. That was a sizable chunk of the whole health bar. You have a void. Oh yeah, right. That. Yes, check your shards. What's the function of the red paths that you need a key to? Look at the map. I think we're talking about. Like these ones here. I think this is what you're talking about. The red paths you need a key to. Yeah, I'm assuming this is what we're talking about. So this is a dungeon. And so there's 3 dungeons in the game right now, and each one of the dungeons has a fixed extra mechanic that you get when you go into the dungeon, and then it has a boss that you have to it's a boss you have to fight, and then once you finish that, there's a special unique reward for the dungeon you get. Like this is how you combine unique items and exalted items to make legendaries, as an example, and then it also pumps you out further in the campaign. So it's a campaign skip mechanic as well, and that's that piece of it is something that we are really trying to make better. Because right now it's not really doing its job well enough yet. And someone just reminded me as well that Sigils of Hope can be used to can be converted to Void and then cast on minions, so you can add Void damage to minions that way. Thanks, Carve. Alright, does main attribute affect minions damage the same way it would a skills? Also, does this pass on ailments that minions apply? So minions, you can, like, so if you're ever wondering what an attribute is going to do for an ability, all you have to do is mouse over that ability and hold Alt, and it will tell you exactly what it's going to do. So for my, I guess you have to do it with, I'm like, why is this not right? Here we go, that's right. When you've got the minion summoned, it will show you what it's doing to the activated ability, but if you look at the actual base ability, it will show you what it does to the minion itself. So strength right now is granting me the same damage increase on my pet, on my minion, so the raptor gets that same 80% increased damage. So this is applied exactly the same to raptor ailments. Raptor has 80% increased damage from my strength, which means that any ailments that the raptor applies get 80% increased damage, because the raptor itself has 80% increased damage. So the raptor doesn't have attributes itself. The attributes on minions don't actually do anything, but when you summon a minion, your attribute stats get used to make that minion better. So the strength that you have makes your raptor stronger, and your raptor does more damage, and the raptor bleeds that it applies and other ailments does more damage as well. Also, they get a bunch more health as well. Will there be a video explaining the upcoming event / update? Probably not. There's like a few details on some of those options in the announcement, but like the bulk of the information's there. Like there's some specifics. I would assume, I don't know, but I would assume there's going to be some posts going into some more specifics on what some of those things mean. Like I know the stash one, people are kind of like, what does that mean? Stash priority system. Did we talk about that already? It's gonna dramatically reduce the amount of time you spend at your stash each time. And it's exactly what everyone thinks it is. Haha, you're off your spot. Deal with it. Oh, I gambled and lost. Sure, now you're over here. Let me build up berserk stacks. Come on. Jeez. Yeah. It's close. Got her.
Lagon is unpredictable. I was trying.
Are we gonna do Lagon, or are we stick around and do Lagon? Sure. Might as well, right? I spent a lot of time in an LE streamer's stream. He often has ridiculous luck when slamming legendaries. Lately, he has had horrible luck. Did you nerf him? If no, can you nerf him? There are no streamer specific buffs or nerfs. Where is it here? Streamer mode. Does not give you better loot drops. What is the ETA for the engine update? We do not have an ETA for the engine update. We've just, as of 24 minutes ago, switched over to the new version internally. Oh, it's just Line Flu's Berserk. Big hit, come on. More questions. Do we have any questions here? Do I have to farm the whole COF again at the mid-cycle? If you want to play on the cycle ladder, if you want to play on the new ladder, yes. But it will go up much faster, so. Some consideration there. Ooh, the wave actually hurt. We're going back, we're going back. Wait for the first one. Come on, where's the first sweep? There it is. Yes, go. Go. Yes, kept it. Yes, Berserk kept it. so much faster when I can keep Berserk going. Oh, that felt good.
Your skills entertain.
Alright, that doesn't count. Oh, I don't know why that doesn't count, but it counts.
Why have
Alright, we're gonna wrap this up. Only half an hour over time. Alright, people in chat game talk a lot about skipping campaign and leveling in different ways. Thoughts, plans? Yeah. I'd really love it if the campaign was just fun enough that people didn't need to skip it, really. Hey Mike, when is Judd coming to stream? He's very, very, very busy. My time is much more expendable for stuff like this. I don't know, I'd love to get him in a first stream. I think it'd be sweet. Judd always comes with he always seems to have some extra spoilers that leak out, which is a good reason to ask for him. Judd's the game director, in case anyone doesn't know. Or at least Kyle again. Yeah, I've asked Kyle to come again. I'm down for other people. Yeah, let's get more people. Let's get more guests on. I've never understood one thing. Why do you prohibit players from freely move between factions? Why these restrictions on wearing things received in one faction or another? For example, a person plays the first week in COF guild, then wants to participate in the trade, continues to farm, but cannot do it because they're tied to the guild and cannot wear them in the other guild. These are two distinct and separate playstyles that we want to offer to our players. These are not two halves of a single system. They are two separate systems that we want you to pick one or the other. We're saying if you want trade, play trade. If you don't want trade, don't play trade. The ability to switch is a failsafe for if you regret your decision and you don't want to have to re-roll your character. It is not a mechanic to be used inside of a larger system. Hopefully that gives a little insight into the intentions here. So it's not a restriction, it's actually an extra freedom. Please more cosmetics, that's the question. Sure. What boss do you like fighting the most? I really like fighting Lagon. It's one of my favorite bosses. Which I know sounds ridiculous, everyone hates Lagon. I don't know. I really like it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Can't think of a better one. Right, last question. I think a lot of the desire for a campaign skip isn't the entertainment value, but the value of loot and progression versus getting to monoliths. I mean, yeah. So this is the age-old thing. Is it's you're not asking. People are sometimes not asking for a campaign skip. They're asking for a I want to level faster, like. And so I think that's the key difference in the conversation. And on that horrible disappointment, it's time to end. Hopefully that's not a trademarked phrase anywhere. Thank you all for coming out. I had a wonderful time. I hope you did too. I'll be back same time, same place next week. If I missed your question, I apologize. Did not mean to. I am available to be asked that same question again in our Discord. We have an Ask the Devs channel that we keep up to date on pretty good. Feel free to swing by there and ask it. Let's see who's around. Oh, in honor of the lizard that was just announced. Lizard, you better be on good behavior. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.